Hi friends, Mindy here. I am back with days 8 through 11 of my 100-day project. If you haven't seen the other videos, I will link them down below. I'm creating Memorydex cards for this project every day for 100 days, and they just vary from day to day. And I have set myself per day a 15-minute time limit. That's not necessary for this project. That's just what I personally have set myself, just so that I can make sure that I actually accomplish 100 days of this. So on camera there, what you saw me doing is just pulling out some things I'm going to collage onto one of these cards. I have already prepared the 100 bases, so I'm just kind of randomly pulling them. And so today I picked one that was kind of a vintage look. So I'm using some paper products from Your Creative Studio. This is like a subscription box sort of. And so I just distressed the edges of that with some, I believe it was Vintage Photo. I went around this piece that I had, and I had kind of torn it a little bit, and so I just actually added distressed ink there too, so that it would really just kind of bring out that tear and make everything look nice and aged. And then I have this little, looks like a postage stamp, but it's just really a sticker that had some butterflies on it. And these were just in the colors of this card, which is why I went with these. And I just kind of left it hanging off the edge there, and then I will trim the excess off of that. I'm just trying to go through, and really one of my other goals with this project is to use up all of the things that I have. I have lots of ephemera and scraps and just everything, and so some days I'll use scraps that are on my desk, and in this instance I'm using these pieces from Your Creative Studio. So I just decided to distress the edges of this butterfly as well, and then I am going to glue that down. I have this little label. It's a vintage label. All of these pieces come from that kit. So I'm just kind of gluing everything down, and then just distressing everything, like I said, in Vintage Photo. It's actually archival ink, but in the Vintage Photo color. And then I found this little word sticker that says "Believe" on it. It's not what I was looking for, but I was running out of time. So I also just really quick flashed on there. I'm using the Matthews Alpha from By the Well for God to put my numbers on the back when I have time. So this is moving on to day 9. This was a really simple and quick card, actually. I had these were just scraps of paper that I had somewhere in my stash. And so I'm using both of these on this really kind of bold background. This paper that is on the background is really interesting because it's like it almost has like a chalkboard kind of finish to it. It's so the paper itself is really textured, and it's just really bold and bright, and just for whatever reason that's what I was feeling like working with on this day. So I'm using some ephemera from Simple Stories, the Oh Happy Day line, and these have just been in my stash again forever. So I just went through and pulled out some things that I thought would go good with this background, and I really just wanted to use this llama for some reason. I don't know why. And then I put this little sticker down. Sometimes I can't really explain why I'm making some of the decisions that I am, especially for cards like these where I'm just trying to get through, using my scraps, doing different techniques, trying to just be a little bit creative every day in a 15-minute time slot. So today it was really bright papers, bright colors and llamas, and other days it's vintage. So I don't know. That's just how I roll, I guess. But anyway, I went ahead and punched the holes in this card before I glued down my little llama there. I wanted to make sure I didn't cut off his feet. So now I'm just going through here. I decided he needed a friend, so he has a little bird riding on his back, and the little bird was a sticker, but the llama was an ephemera piece, so I'm just added glue to the back of that. And then I thought I was going to use this cactus, but in the end I decided to just put this really bold flower kind of hanging off the edge, and then I will trim that down as well. I wanted something over there in that corner, but I just felt like the cactus was just competing with it too much. So I'm just trimming off the excess here, and then pretty much this card is done. I was actually done in less than 15 minutes with this one. So again, I'm using the Matthews Alpha from By the Well for God, the Matthews numbers. And when I have time, this is my preferred number set to use for these cards. I don't always have time to use that, but for day 10, I pulled out this card, this paper as a backer, and I really wasn't feeling like kind of working with these colors or anything. So I have on my desk, I have this little bucket of all of these scraps from like just really recent projects or just other days in the 100 Days project and everything. And so I decided that I was just going to basically use this paper as a substrate, and I'm just going to collage over the entire thing. So I have put down some vintage ledger paper, some vintage music paper. This is like a vintage pay stub that I got. I don't even remember when. I've had it forever. And so I just tore off just a little tiny piece of that to put on here. And then this little blue piece with the like leaf motif on it is actually from one of the Artist Almanac things. I have these other little pieces. I'm just kind of pulling out whatever. And I had glued down another scrap there. You just saw me lift that up. It ended up being too brightly colored. I was just really kind of keeping within the like the blues and the kind of orange colors for this card. And then, so I'm gluing down these little punched out pieces. They were like punched out with a scallop punch. It's just the shape of it. And then I added some book text, and then I'm gluing down this like piece that has the motif. And then now I'm going to try to kind of pull all of these seemingly disparate pieces all together and make this seem like one cohesive thing. So I'm going to trim off all of the excess things that are hanging over the edge here. And I needed to add a little bit more of that kind of that darker blue from the Artist Almanac card. So I'm just collaging on another little piece that has that same color down in the bottom left-hand corner and then up in the right-hand corner, just to have it in a few different places. And then I'm going around this card with vintage photo archival ink again. And now I'm just getting, this is a Posca paint pen. And what I'm doing is on these cutouts, there was like a leaf pattern or whatever. I'm just extending that pattern from that little circle out onto the background, and that's just going to kind of tie everything together. So I am going in with a Uniball pen here. This is the Unisigno in the 1.0 tip, and I'm just going around that to bring white onto there. And then I extended the stem of that down, and then I outlined the scallop, just going around with some scribbly marks here, kind of creating a scribbly border. And just really this next part is really just kind of mark making, and there's no, I don't like hard fast rules for it. It's just kind of whatever you like to do. So I'm adding some different shapes, like some dots, and then in one of those little circles there are like some little plus signs, so I'm adding some of those as well. And then I'm using it I'm kind of trying to mimic some of those same colors. And what that does is it just, as long as I'm kind of making sure that I'm working like from one piece onto the next, it just pulls everything together. And I'm sorry, because I realize it's really hard to see kind of some of this doodly stuff that I'm doing on camera, but there will be a close-up down at the end of this. You can kind of see a little bit better with the doodles. And then I actually came back in just with a pencil as well, just to kind of get some of the same colors that were in those little orange and blue scallop pieces. So day 11, I realized I was not filming when I started, so you didn't really miss a whole lot here. I have a bunch of these coffee stickers, and so I thought this would be really smart to try to use these and create a little background. This ended up taking up so much of my time because these stickers were impossible to get off the backer sheet. But I went ahead and just, worked through it, and then they're not on there straight, but again, I only had 15 minutes. So what I ended up doing was just trimming down this card a little bit so that some of my circles would hang off the edge. I just felt like that looked a little bit better. And then I went around the edge again with archival ink in vintage photo. And then this was actually a sticky pad, sticky note, and so I thought that would be really kind of cute So I will use that, but I really felt like it needed kind of to be grounded a little bit. So I have this, this is actually like a pay stub I used in a different day, and I just tore off another little piece. Again, this was just sitting on my desk. And so I just am going to put this down kind of across the bottom, just so that my, my little cup here is not just floating out in the middle of nowhere. And then I put glue all over the back of the sticky note because obviously it's not going to stick without it. So the one thing that I didn't like on this sticky note is it had the brand. This came from a sticker kit, and so it had their brand on there. So I'm just using a little sticker that says I love coffee, and sticking it on there. And then I found another little sticker that says joy, so I'm just kind of putting that in the cup. It's a clear sticker that's like gold metallic, and so I just kind of put that resting in the cup there. And then I'm going to pull out a couple more stickers just to kind of balance up at the top, and one just says coffee time, and then another's just a little image of the sticker. I didn't really have a lot of time to do much on this card. I ran out of time really because doing the background with those little stickers just took forever. So I was basically out of time at this point, so I'm just having to use my pen to write that this was day 11 on the back. And then I realized I had this little clip that I wanted to put on, so I kind of added that there. It just looks like a little coffee cup. So I'm just punching the holes here, and that will be the end of day 11's card. So if you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.